Oh boy.
Make...
Hey, so... Hey, yeah, I'm getting into, like, humor and...
I mean...
No. I could show you around. Like a school tour. You want to do that? You up for that?
I'm gonna be honest.
Huh?
You've...
I guess. Not.
Rap mentioned it.
Well, hey, I've seen your ass around here before.
It's my first...
Whatever.
That was...
Gotta be.
Uh-huh.
And a girl...
I'm gonna...
Fucking cool.
Doesn't pay...
Well, I'm...
How can you...
Well...
Cool.
Enough to demotivate an elephant. I got him.
Like, I'd love to, but I kind of make too good of decisions to get high with a stranger.
Oh, come on. Don't be a pussy. We fucking go to the same school. I'm a student athlete. People know me here.
Yeah, student athletes, kind of the red flag here. If I pop too many, I'm gonna wake up with my thighs covered in butter.
Bro, I have done literally nothing to give you this impression of me.
You ever played with a sleeping teammate's ass?
Well, like not in a gay way.
Uh-huh.
How is that gay?
Whatever, I'm going to lunch. It was nice meeting you, very straight, non-rapist.
Yeah, making friends.
God damn, this school's nothing but rapists and pedophiles.
Tell me about it.
Oh, sorry. If you're sitting here, I can go somewhere else.
Nah, I don't think anyone's showing up. Go ahead.
Thanks. What's your name?
Jekka, now, before I ask your name, I just want to ask what happened to you. Like, it took me 2 years to figure out this school sucks. You did it on your first day. What's up?
A lacrosse player wanted me to get high.
Like Benadryl or a prescription high?
Full-on Percocet, dude.
Oh, that's, fuck, what was his name? Kyler, yeah. Yeah, he's a bit of a benzosexual.
What the fuck's a benzosexual?
Attracted to the unconscious.
Oh. Well, hi, I'm Nicole. I just dodged a bullet.
Cool, hey, so the other guys you gotta watch out for are usually into some form of feet. Nicole! You ready for day 2?
Is someone gonna kill me day 2? If so, absolutely.
Why? What happened?
Just like,
He can eat.
like 20.
I mean, we kind of free.
Exactly. I have to.
Is he
Do you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Good to know.
dude, fuck class.
I told you yesterday, if I
How does it?
it'd be so.
Isn't that?
She's the.
Huh.
So where are you headed?
I guess gym class.
Look, it's the first day. No funny guys, no comedians, no bringers of the ha-ha, okay? This year's gym class isn't last year's gym class. We're gonna really buckle down on physical fitness.
I'm fit as fuck. I ain't buckling shit.
Young lady, what?
Nicole.
This
No.
good. Now everybody better dress out every class. If you don't, it's a 0.
Where the hell did I put the shirt?
Having trouble, Nicole?
Can you? You can't be in.
So,
Oh,
you know,
I gotta. You are.
come on. What's age? Look at you. You're mature enough. Honey, quiet down there. Need this job.
He won't get his hands off this minor ass!
Oh my god, what are you doing in the girls' locker room? Were you really grabbing some minor ass?
Minor is in underage? I think my ass is pretty major, to be honest.
I've been at this school for 15 years.
The security cameras will.
I know installing those security cameras would.
This might sound fucked up, but I'm almost happy our gym teacher was a pedophile.
I'm definitely happy our gym teacher was.
Yeah, the settlement money is pretty nice.
My mom was like, oh, it's hush money. I'm like, whatever. The media wouldn't pay us nearly this much.
Yeah, I've seen this months later. Okay.
So, it's been a few months since we moved. How's school going?
Like, academically or socially?
Everything, anything.
Honestly, it's going pretty good.
Oh, that's great to hear. I know moving schools can be hard.
And if I cared, it absolutely would be. But Mom, I figured out that if you just don't engage with other people,
All right, I've
like
seen this.
any time ago.
Honey,
Yeah, well, what? So you're
Nicole.
okay? Well,
Nicole,
yeah. How can I?
this conversation.
All right. No,
And so you see, the aperture actually gets wider the lower the f-stop gets.
Did I really forget my eyeliner?
Ahem.
Did you really need that cough licked out?
This is
I know that. I'll be done in like 2 seconds. Just
now, Nicole.
okay, fine.
Wonderful.
You can't talk like that to her.
I can talk in.
That's not my name. See? You don't respect any of the girls. A guy could just...
You're on thin ice right now.
I heard it was only 3. Great.
I feel like I see you two every week now.
Swear to God, it wasn't even our fault.
What she said, except for the swear to God part.
Oh, so
Yeah, miss.
enough. When it comes to repeat offenders, it's no longer...
And
Yeah.
Would either of you like...
Nicole?
what?
Yes, Nicole. Do tell.
He didn't already tell you?
Oh, he did. I'm just curious to hear your side of the story.
And Mr. White said,
Said you were talking out of turn with extreme vulgarity.
well, yeah, you would too if he was groping you all over mid-lecture.
Excuse me?
Yeah, what?
Mr. White is a pervert and he's been pulling this shit for like years now.
Really now?
Oh, you don't believe me?
Your friend Jessica here was there too, and also seems quite surprised at your claim.
Well, she's just in shock from years of abuse, right?
You could call it that.
I see what's going on here. Just because I'm an openly feminist woman in power doesn't mean I'll believe any girl who walks in with a last-minute accusation.
Well, I guess you're just a non-feminist woman in power because I'm catching ours left and right from this fucking guy and you don't even believe me.
Oh, would you like me to call your parents then? It's so serious, they should know too, don't you agree?
Oh my God.
Yeah, do it.
I'll be in the back room then.
What are you doing?
Not getting in trouble?
What if she calls my parents too over this shit? I don't want to deal with this, Nicole.
Relax, I'll just tell everyone he threatened to kill you if you squealed.
This isn't Juilliard. I can't fake that.
Look, she probably won't even call yours anyway. Don't freak out over it.
Let's hope you're right.
I'll take it to court if I have to.
Nicole, why was your principal on the phone telling me you may or may not have been sexually assaulted?
Oh, that. It was probably just an April Fool's prank.
It's October.
No, yeah, I know that. It's actually School Pride Week, where we just do the holidays all fucky. Thursday's Rosh Hashanah. Could I pass for Jewish?
What bush are you beating around here?
Okay, fine. My photography teacher was getting really touchy-feely with,
Touchy-feely where? Where did he touch you?
my essential areas.
Are you being serious with me? If not, you're in big trouble.
Well, in that case, Mom, I wouldn't joke about this. His fingers were like in.
I believe you, sweetheart.
Oh, awesome. You rock, Mom. So what's for dinner?
But if this really happened, I'm not very fond of your principal's dismissive tone. I never thought we'd have to do this at a school so nice. But I'm calling a lawyer.
Wait, Mom, don't.
Oh God, did he brainwash you into liking it?
Excuse me? Mom, no, just please don't call.
It's okay, sweetie. When you're in college, you'll meet plenty of men with just as much money as your photography teacher.
No, ew. I made all this shit up, okay?
Oh, did you now?
Yeah. Could you not ground me forever? I know pretending to be raped is taboo, but it was kind of a dry run for when I'm in college.
I won't ground you at all, actually. Hop in the car. Let's go to a tattoo place.
Oh my God. Mom, are you serious? You know I've wanted one for so long. Is this like some kind of reward for being honest?
Quite the opposite. I had a chat with your friend Jekka's mother at the last parent-teacher conference.
And what'd she say?
A lot of words, but two in particular really stuck out to me. Disciplinary tattoo.
Fill me in on what that is. Sounds familiar.
I'm getting Jesus Saves tattooed down your spine.
What? Mom, no. This is fucking weird. Everyone at nice beaches will laugh at me, and everyone at shitty beaches will hit on me. So fuck photography.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mr. White acts like his class is so goddamn important. We can take pictures with a camera phone. Who even needs a camera anymore?
Exactly. Men who teach electives get so insecure when they realize they can't stop anyone from graduating.
Bitch, be happy anyone even took your class.
It's an art course anyway, like doing your makeup's a huge step down.
What's up, you whores?
Wow.
Hi, Kyler.
You shit-talking Mr. White? Yeah, he probably deserves it.
What do you want?
Alright, damn. Did you guys get an invite to Kelly's pool party?
It's October.
No, her parents are like really rich. It's glassed in and everything.
Yeah, and her pool stuff is sick. They got those 4-foot-long syringe water gun things.
What are you, 10?
Whatever, just a little fun on the side while picking up bitches.
I've been here for a year and never once heard of someone having sex with you.
I've been here since 3rd grade and haven't heard it.
Nuh-uh. Remember freshman year with Jenny Fillmore?
She was unconscious. How do you still brag about that?
You're like the reason they have women's college.
Okay, old news, whatever. You have invites or not?
Yeah.
Me too.
How did you get one? You haven't even been here that long.
Because I have a nice face and I'm not fat.
Okay, well, can I tag along with you guys? This weekend's gonna be so boring if I can't go.
I don't want to be responsible for you ruining the party, but I also don't want to be
Fine. Nicole, I know I called you a whore like 2 minutes ago, but could you let me go with you just this once?
Maybe. But you need a conversation starter if we're gonna justify bringing you.
Like what?
Do something impressive this week. Like,
put something funny on YouTube.
yeah, actually, not a bad idea. Then everybody can watch it at the party.
A video of what, though?
You know where photography is?
At magazine studios, duh.
No, dipshit, the photography classroom.
Yeah, what about it?
The darkroom has a whole bunch of really delicate and expensive equipment. Make a video of you just destroying that shit.
Huh, really? What do you think, Jacka?
I think Mr. White's reaction would be funnier than the video itself, so go for it.
Fine, you're on. See you there this weekend. Yeah, making friends.
It's amazing how men will do anything just to see us with less clothes on.
Yeah, it's like there's laws for it or something.
So what are you wearing to Kelly's pool party?
Well, summer's over, so no more selling anything.
Hello, girls. Going to a pool party in the fall?
Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe. I can't find anything to wear for it.
I could help you out with that.
You sell bikinis?
Of course not. But swing by my office later and we can take some measurements for the Home Ec Sewing Club. We'll make sure it fits flawlessly to your every curve.
Gee, thanks. I'll see you there, maybe.
Have a good day at school.
Did he just say your every curve?
Yeah, is he allowed to say that?
What are you guys freaking out about?
I think the counselor might have made an advance at me.
He literally asked you to go to his office, get naked, and be measured.
Yawn. What else is new?
What?
You've gone here longer than me. How did you not notice?
To be fair, he's kind of subtle about it.
He's what I call a marathon pedophile.
Sorry, but what the fuck is a marathon pedophile?
He tries to make you question society's hatred of pedophilia before he actually molests you. Then you'll feel bad if you tell on him afterward.
So he guilts you so he can make a routine out of it?
Exactly. A predator that plays the long game. A marathon pedophile.
That's like 3 levels worse than what I thought he was gonna do.
Why do you even want to measure you anyway?
For a bikini to wear at Kelly's pool party, he'd have Home Ec make it.
Home ec? What are they gonna make? A fucking felt bathing suit?
I didn't say I was gonna do it. But yeah, I'd probably fall apart after a lap in the pool anyway.
Excuse me? You planned on swimming at a pool party?
What do you do at a pool party?
Sit around and look cute.
Same. God damn it! Why are they still using combination locks? The school's soft. No one steals shit anyway.
You still aren't dressed?
Yeah, they need thumbprint scanners or some shit. It's 2008. Isn't it the future by now?
You're gonna be late.
No shit. Now, how many spins again?
Nailed it!
What the fuck? How'd you get in here?
There's no lock on the doors. Saw it as a great opportunity for an A+.
Does your cartoons tell you to do? Why didn't?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
You're Kim.
If you're gonna,
I do.
no, come on.
I'm afraid. Or maybe I.
What?
You won't convince me.
Huh? Wait, was I at the wrong locker?
Wait a minute.
So I'm fucked. Totally fucked.
Whoa, slow down. It's just a picture of you in your underwear, like no nipples or anything?
Now that you're asking, I'm suddenly worried one might have been halfway out or something. Does areola count as nipple?
That's a good question.
Either way, I gotta stop this from being developed. This shit always manages to pop back up in the future.
What future? You say you're gonna kill yourself every other day.
Well, I want to go out as a troubled teen philosopher, not some slut in over her head.
Even in death, you're manipulative.
Sorry if I don't want my legacy to be freaks jacking off to pictures of me.
I would die for half the self-esteem of a girl who just assumes the whole school would jerk off to her.
Do you think I could, like, persuade Jeffrey to just trash the negative?
Yeah, if you had cat ears and a tail, and we're basically a cartoon.
Oh, yeah, he's fucked up, I forgot.
May as well focus on damage control. It's all you can do.
I really hope there's a bomb threat tomorrow.
Yeah, my brother was asking this girl out for like 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
Did he ask really slowly?
Okay, let's just get through the first day of the rest of my ruined life.
Hey, Nicole.
Here it comes.
Did you see what happened to the photography room?
Oh. Wait, what?
There's a big crowd up there. It's all in pieces. All these chemicals combined on the floor, too. It's basically mustard gas.
There she is.
Uh-oh, got a tip.
What's going on?
Don't play dumb. It's obvious it was you.
Jeffrey's given me reason to believe you're the one who destroyed the school photo lab last night.
No. I was at home all night mulling over ways to kill myself.
In my office, now!
Just want to make it clear one more time that he has no evidence of me doing this.
Well, unfortunately, the breadcrumbs all lead to you. Trying to stop him from developing his picture of you, albeit unflattering, is not a reason to destroy thousands in school property.
Did you completely glaze over the last 10 things I said? He took a picture in the girls' locker room.
And I assure you he'll be dealt with soon. But you'll need to learn how to deal with the consequences of revealing attire. Destruction of property is not one of them.
I was in the middle of changing?
You could have been fully nude. It's still unreasonable.
Wait, I didn't break anything. Fuck what I was wearing.
Out of the 10 students we questioned, no one else had anything close to resembling a motive.
We'll go ask 10 more.
Hey, Miss Lynn, sorry. Just got to school. I'm signing in late again.
In the middle of something here.
Oh, with the student? Nicole? Hey, I did the video. You better make good with that pool party plus one.
What video?
You don't remember? If I posted a viral video, you'd let me go with you?
What is this? Get out!
No, wait, it's only like a minute, see?
Yeah?
Yo, what's up? This is Kyler. Let's break this gay-ass photo lab.
Oh my god.
Fuck photography. It's for people who like animals.
Nicole, leave my office. Kyler, could I have a word with you?
Yeah, what's up?
You're expelled!
Did you see Kyler's video?
No, what? What's the deal with it?
Here, watch it on my phone.
Crazy, right? Right, Nicole?
Huh? Yeah. He did it. He really did it.
He really fucking did it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The music of our year was pretty special when.
Yeah, Soldier Boy wasn't a one-hit wonder. Who knew?
I wonder which of them is gonna die first after high school.
Hey, Nicole. I know we had our differences here and there, but sign my yearbook?
And once again, I can't even begin to describe how proud I am of each and every one of you. Representing your class with a speech, your valedictorian.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Principal Lynn and the rest of the faculty, declaring me the valedictorian for class of '09. Schoolwork was always important to me during my tenure here.
Shut the fuck up!
Anyway, perhaps another among us could put it better. Nicole?
That's okay.
Nicole, say a few words.
First, I'd like to thank our female authority figure, Miss Lynn, along with her cleavage for symbolizing how the men at this school have treated me here. Like a sex object.
What are you doing?
In my 2 years here, a good 20% of the staff has either asked me on a date or made some other form of sexual advance. I told their supervisors, and they told me to get my grades up.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
I sent my daughter here.
What kind of school is this? I'm calling the news.
Oh, oops. I was just dropping off my lost textbook check. Awkward.
I was on my way out, just packing.
They make you clear the whole room at the end of every year?
No. They make you clear the whole room out after you're fired.
Whoops.
Your apathy won't work on me, Nicole.
You're not mad?
No, actually. It's been a long time coming. Surprised it didn't happen sooner, to be honest.
So you knew ignoring it would come back to bite you?
When you fooled around with half your staff, they don't take you very seriously. I know I might seem old to you, but we're actually not too different.
Using our looks to fuck around with people?
That's right. Been doing it since I was your age. Though you really one-upped me. Never letting your emotions trick you into thinking you owed them anything. Rare for a girl your age.
How long for you to figure that out?
I still haven't. In 39 years. 39 years old, and I didn't report teachers for asking students out. Because I didn't want to look stuck up. Sometimes all it takes is one night with someone to feel the need to be loyal.
Ew, you fucked the counselor?
Among others.
Well, I guess it only makes sense that men impulsive enough to fuck their boss would also try to fuck kids. I thought you hosted the feminism club.
Politics are fashion. We pick it for a sense of belonging, not change.
Most of us, anyway.
Maybe one day, you'll start your own movement.
I already have.
Did I actually...
I thought about what Miss Lynn said for months into my first fully legal summer. The manipulation was still fun. What got harder was the escape plan. Now that I was 18, I couldn't just resort to calling older men pedophiles for dating me. I slowed down a bit. Maybe I should start a movement that makes my attitude more common. But it'd be a ton of work to promote. And that's when I learned the grand irony of being pretty. It destroys your dopamine levels. You don't want to do shit. Dudes just buy me drinks, give me things, everything. What incentive do I have to try? Is this why women make less? We don't feel like trying? Actually, I want a stat on the women who quit their small businesses. What % of them are hot? Or what if their business does really well because they're hot? I guess my point is, if our culture is ran by looks, the stats should take looks into consideration. I promise, I'll have a political takeaway from my high school years. I just need the numbers. Watching your dad kill himself really fucks you up.
Well, yeah. Well, that's another ending down. I want to play Black Mesa more. What do I want to play? Ow. Time for more drugs. God damn it.
Hey, what are you still doing down here?
Well, there's got to be something here. Really? It just brought me here to waste ammo?
Go, go, go. Oops. Sorry.
Why am I blanking on where to go? I was just there. Oh, there it is. For those of you wondering, yes, I felt like doing another Half-Life run. Why? I really love this game.
Well, it can't get any worse than this.
Minor fracture detected.
Where do I go? The fuck?
My bad, Doc.
No, not really.
gave me quite a scare.
The cavalry finding us down here, Doc. We gotta head for the surface.
But with all the elevators out of order...
We can still climb. I'll stay back here.
I'm going to stay here and wait for my colleagues.
It's clear, right? And then let's go.
Ready when you are. Hell if I know him.
Keep your eyes open, that gaping...
There's no way I could make that jump across that gap. I failed physical education.
Guess that means I'm playing babysitter.
Hold on much longer! Help!
Ammunition depleted. Emergency. User death imminent.
Yes. Exact.
Minor lacerations.
Watch out! Oh dear! You go on ahead. I'll catch up. I'm going to stay here and wait for my colleagues. Good God. Is it safe?
No. No, not at all.
Power 60%.
Oh my. After all this, I don't know what to think. These crab creatures have a unique parasitic strategy, don't you think?
Power 30%.
All right, let's go.
Don't shoot! We're with the science team!
Well, I didn't mean to go that far back. God damn it. This game is a lot of fun.
could possibly have been worth it. In other words, hello everybody, and welcome to the M16 conspiracy. This story has been a kind of urban legend for as long as I can remember. So I decided to finally sit down and read about it, and it's way worse than I ever imagined. So if I have to be filled with the terrible knowledge that the people that are supposed to protect us actually hate us, then you do too. Because if I have any psychic damage, I'm passing it on. That's how it works around here. We're going to talk about the history leading up to the conspiracy, what went wrong and why. But before we get into that, I need to do some shilling, as I am once again spinning the roulette wheel of demonetization. For one, if you like guns and things,
one thing you can trust, it's the fresh, healthy, affordable meals from today's sponsor, Factor. That's because Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals straight to your door. And because it's so easy to get and make Factor meals, meeting your nutrition.
Before we get into that, I need to do some shilling, as I am once again spinning the roulette wheel of demonetization. For one, if you like guns and things being shot, then you'll probably enjoy at least a little bit the film that I made with Stephen Hancock and Evan Royalty. That film, of course, Stalker, Shadow of the Zone.
Really does mean the most. Hope you all check them out. Link is in the description, and we are back to the video.
We are going to go ahead and get into it, but as always, thank you for watching. So why did the United States government sabotage their own rifles? Well, to understand that, we need to learn some history. And to start, we need to talk about the U.S. Army Ordnance Department and Springfield Armory. Now, to make it clear right now, neither of these organizations that I'm going to talk about are indicative of their modern-day counterpart. The Army Ordnance Department is now the Army Ordnance Corps and does different things, mostly with like bomb disposals and whatnot, and Springfield Armory isn't even the same company. It's a completely unrelated business that just has the same name. I'm talking about the versions of these entities that existed before Vietnam. Also, I'm kind of oversimplifying by just using words like the Ordnance Department and Springfield. This extends to a ton of different leaders and branches within the military itself. It involves people in research and development teams. It involves people in the top brass of Army infrastructure. So just know when I'm talking about either entity, especially the Army Ordnance, it really means people across the Army as a whole. The Ordnance and Springfield just tends to be the most responsible or easiest to pinpoint within this web of lies. In 1777, George Washington established the Springfield Armory along with Harper's Ferry as the two main armories for the Continental Army. The two of these armories would exist for nearly 100 years until during the Civil War when Harper's Ferry was destroyed. Armory along with Harper's Ferry as the two main armories for the Continental Army. The two of these armories would exist for nearly 100 years until during the Civil War when Harper's Ferry was destroyed, leaving Springfield Armory as the primary source for United States Ordnance. This goes right in hand with the U.S. Army Ordnance. While they were officially founded as a part of the U.S. Army in 1812, their actual history goes back to like pre-American early colonial times, as there were always departments within the New World interested in procuring and retaining new kinds of weaponry. Naturally, this department goes hand in hand with Springfield, the location that did a lot of the physical procuring and retaining of weaponry. Typically, Springfield Armory would research and develop new weapons that the Ordnance Department would then choose to adopt for the military. And as you can imagine, considering both of these entities had been doing this side by side for decades and decades, there was a lot of cronyism built up. If there was ever a new development in firearms or weapons technology at the private business level, immediately the Army would stick their noses up at it. Famously, during the Civil War, Union General James Ripley opposed Lincoln's idea of incorporating repeating rifles into the military, saying they'd be too complicated. And probably unholy or something, opting instead to continue to have their soldiers using muskets where you have to physically pour the powder and the bullet down the gun itself, resistant to the change of the self-contained cartridge. That was, of course, until Springfield comes up with the self-contained cartridge. And then eventually, when the progress becomes too much to turn a blind eye to, they have Springfield make a version of it, and then it's okay to adopt. This did result in some funny moments in history, like, for example, when Springfield developed the American bolt-action rifle, the 1903 Springfield, they realized that they had stolen the patent design for the bolt-action from Mauser, a German manufacturing company. So Springfield, and ergo the United States, agreed to pay out Mauser for the copyright infringement, an amount which was paid off over the course of World War I. So as we were at war with Germany, we were paying them for the copyright infringement of their rifle design. Over the years, whenever it came time for the United States to develop a new rifle, Springfield would always be the one to find the contract. And that's not to say Springfield was completely devoid of good ideas or inventions. For example, John C. Garand, the developer of the Garand rifle, worked at Springfield and deserved the contract at the time. But it's not like the government was looking that far outside of Springfield's offerings. During World War II, Garand's design of the M1 Garand, or just M1 rifle, was the standard issue for United States forces. At the beginning of
He has an M1 Grand. That's one of the best fucking rifles ever, man. Oh my god.
World War II, it was state-of-the-art and far outclassed the bolt-action rifles that were standard of a lot of other armies involved in World War II. But by the end of the war, it was quickly becoming dated. However, over the course of the war, a lot of nations, especially Germany, had developed new kinds of firearm. One of the most advanced by the end of the war being Germany's STG-44, the first assault rifle. The assault rifle used...
Yeah, but it wasn't widely used, like, at all. Like, yeah, Germany had weapons like that, but they couldn't fucking use them. They didn't have the materials to build enough or to supply them, so...
used a smaller round when compared to its full rifle counterparts. This round would often be called an intermediate cartridge. This new sort of middle ground ammo allowed for the soldier to carry a lot more ammunition, and for the weapon itself to be a lot lighter. Gone were the days of standing several hundred yards apart in fields and shooting at each other. Now there was room-to-room fighting, building clearing, rushing through the streets. The agility and fire output of the individual soldier seemed to now be paramount, and Russia took no time learning this. This one specifically is a modern version, but the AK-47 quickly became the go-to rifle of the Soviets and their allies. And needless to say, 30 rounds in a lightweight full-auto platform is a far cry from the 8 single-shot rounds of the military's current issued gun. So the Army needs to make a change, and of course, they want Springfield to do it. Now, there's two main sources that I want to thank for the information from here on out. For one, Ian of Forgotten Weapons for not only supplying data for this video, but continuing to fuel my absurdly expensive hobby as a whole. And also James Fallow's 1981 article in The Atlantic for not only helping with the timeline of events, but interviewing a lot of the people who were involved in the cases I'm going to talk about, and for being angry through the whole thing, which I feel is fitting given what we know now. So the United States is looking for a new rifle. Really, all of NATO is looking for a new rifle. And one of the early agreements that NATO comes to is whatever new bullet, rifle, whatever they develop, they're all going to use the same ammo. See, World War II was often a logistical nightmare. If you had British, French, and American allies in a region, then you had to send 3 different nation-specific ammo to each of those groups, and then within the individual squads, there would be like 5 different weapons platforms you have to accommodate for. So NATO agrees to standardize on one kind of ammo, and then furthermore, the United States says they want all of their individual weapons rolls, from personal defense weapons to carbines to full auto support weapons to individual rifleman rifles, to be the same gun. And while you might hear all of that and think it absurd, that's pretty much what the AR-15 does now, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So first of all, NATO has to decide on what this new universal bullet's going to be. The majority of the Europeans want to go with some kind of 270 cartridge, because something that became apparent during World War II is it doesn't matter if someone gets shot with a really big bullet or a normal size bullet, they still got shot. And as long as someone is out of the fight, that's all that matters. Most Allied nations during the war, like America's 30-06 or Britain's 303 British round, were comparatively heavy, and most of NATO was looking to downsize. That is, of course, except for the United States. The United States wanted to keep a 30 caliber bullet, just like the 30-06 that the M1 Garand used during World War II. Why did they want to do this? Because that's the way that they've done it. So because America has the most weight in the room and can kind of throw around wherever they want, NATO agrees to go along with a new 30 caliber cartridge. And the cartridge that comes out is the 308, also known as 7.62x51 NATO. 308 being in reference to its imperial diameter, and 7.62x51 being in reference to its metric diameter. So NATO's decided on its 30 caliber standard round. Everyone else begrudgingly makes the weapons they were developing in 70 caliber now into the new 308 caliber. And in the United States, who gets the offer to make a new 308 rifle other than Springfield? The designers at Springfield are told what we have right now is outdated, and we need you to make a new one in 308. So the Army Ordnance Department is supposed to oversee whatever Springfield's new rifle is going to be. Or I'm sorry, they're supposed to oversee whoever is most qualified and has the best option. It's not like there weren't any other good options available, like the G3, the FAL. The FAL, by the way, which was only converted over to 308 because we said we wanted everything to be 308. And sure, while there's benefits to adopting a rifle that that country makes, it seems that the military wasn't going to adopt anything unless it had the word Springfield on it. So Springfield is told to replace this, and they eventually do by inventing this. The M14 is effectively a kind of sort of modernized by about 10 years M1 Garand. Basically, make progress, but only 10% progress. When I remove the magazine from the M14, it's really easy to see. These two are like identical. Some stuff was certainly changed, like for example the gas system was adapted, and some stuff within the action itself was changed based on experimental M1 Garand designs, and of course it has a 20-round box magazine, which is a big step up from the 8-round stripper clips that the Garand had. That being said, for all other intents and purposes, it's a big M1 Garand. This gun is very heavy, and also, if you haven't noticed, it's made of wood. See, the M14 had core design issues as well. See, the wooden stock, especially in humid conditions like, I don't know, the jungle, would have a habit of swelling and cracking. And this, considering your barrel and other internal mechanisms is lined within the wood, is not good. Plus, due to the rifle's construction and high caliber, on fully automatic, it was near impossible to control. Not only would it beat the brakes off the guy shooting it, but after the third shot, it might as well be an anti-aircraft rifle.
Okay, so I'm going to say the rumors are true. This is really a lot of a handful of gun.
The M14 was a step up from the M1 Garand, but it was just a single step, not a leap or bound by any means. And most importantly, it says made by Springfield on the back. So the U.S. Army Ordnance Department adopted it right away. The rifle was officially adopted as the primary American weapon in 1957 and went into production in 1959. And then almost immediately, the M14 was having problems. See, Springfield Armory was never the sole manufacturer of the weapons that the military had. Instead, Springfield would have the patent and then delegate construction. The two main companies that did the physical rifle production for the military were Winchester and H&R. By 1964, those two companies, as well as Springfield, had produced over 1.3 million rifles. And while the Springfield rifles were performing okay, the others, not so much. Due to poor quality control, the rifle seemed to be jamming, it was having pieces malfunction, a lot of parts had to be replaced. And quickly, this rifle became unpopular with soldiers. Not only because of the malfunctions mentioned earlier, but also this is really heavy. Ask anyone who's ever been in the military. You spend a lot more time carrying the gun than you do actually using it. While Springfield and the Army Ordnance Department were content to keep that rifle until they were forced into a new one, some people were looking for other options. And they would eventually come to know an engineer by the name of Eugene Stoner. Remember how earlier I said the U.S. military held trials to see what new .308 caliber weapon would be the standard issue rifle? Well, while they, of course, went with Springfield, one of the weapons at that initial trial in 1957 was the AR-10. The AR-10 was developed by Eugene Stoner. Eugene Stoner worked for a company called Fairchild Aircraft. Fairchild Aircraft was, as described, a company that built planes. One of the divisions under this company was known as Armalite, a division dedicated to small arms research and development, with Eugene Stoner being one of the leaders at the helm of it. Eugene Stoner and the other researchers at Armalite decided that instead of these huge metal and wood rifles, what if instead they developed something out of aluminum, similar to how one would an airplane? And what if instead of creating a lot of heavy mechanisms within the weapon to work it, why not just make it work off of the pressure and direction of the gases naturally created when a bullet fires? So they develop a prototype using the military's new round, the .308, and as mentioned, the military looks it over. But Stoner and other engineers continue to think, what if the .308 is still the wrong direction? What if the Europeans, as well as the data we have from World War II, is correct, and a smaller bullet would be more effective? So they downsized the AR-10 into the Armalite Rifle 15, or AR-15, along with the help with designers like Jim Sullivan. Eventually, Fairchild would make budget cuts and could no longer sustain the Armalite branch of research and development, so Armalite would sell the patent of their rifle to Colt under the name of AR-15, meaning that while Colt can manufacture the rifle and name it whatever they want, or whatever the military designates it as, or what have you, the designation for the rifle is still AR-15. The first models that Colt would develop would be designated the Colt 601 and look something like this. Ignore the little 3-time carry handle scope. I have that up there because I think it's cool. Because of this rifle's construction, when fully loaded, again with 20 rounds, just like the M14, it weighs about half as much. That's due in large part to the construction of aluminum and plastic as opposed to the hard steel and wood of the M14. Not only that, but the AR-15 designers went even lower than the .270 caliber suggested by European nations and instead went for a .22 caliber round. Previously, .22 caliber rounds had only been used for small game or varmint hunting. But the designers realized that the lightweight round, when packed with a comparably low amount of powder, have the same velocity as their larger counterparts in a much smaller package. What that means is you could get comparable accuracy and distance while still being able to hit your target. Again, one of the primary concerns in rifle manufacturing at the time is how do we get soldiers to be able to carry more ammo? Which when we see the difference between the AR-15's round and the M14's round, it's not hard to see why soldiers preferred carrying the former. And in early trials, soldiers loved it. In 1958, the buzz around the rifle got to be so much that the U.S. Army Ordnance Department held a series of 3 tests for the rifle. And the findings for it were glowing across the board. The rifle was incredibly reliable, it had a good cyclic rate, soldiers enjoyed shooting it. They even found through ballistic testing that the lighter round had a tendency to cause a lot of damage to flesh because whenever it hit a material, the round would begin to tumble as opposed to the larger caliber rifles that would cut straight through. So the concerns about the round being too small to hurt anyone seem to be negated. In the modern age, we know that the tumbling isn't so much because of the bullet's weight, but mostly because of the copper-jacketed ammo being used, but I digress. Everyone who reviewed this rifle weight, but mostly because of the copper-jacketed ammo being used, but I digress. Everyone who reviewed this rifle said that the military should immediately think about adopting it, to which the military responded, no. Or more specifically, the Army Ordnance Department responded, no. The most they would say is perhaps in the future something of this kind could be considered, and that's about it. Well, that was all that was heard about the AR-15 for a couple years until in 1962 when Air Force Chief of Staff Curtis LeMay wanted to take another look at the gun. See, the Air Force doesn't need a ton of rifles. Most of it's like security positions and whatnot. And as I mentioned, soldiers were tired of the M14. And LeMay had fired the AR-15 himself and loved it and decided it should be brought on as the Air Force's standard issue weapon. The Army Ordnance Department opposed, saying that it was dumb for one branch to adopt a rifle that the other branches didn't, but LeMay basically gave them the middle finger and said that if they're not going to get with the times, then he is. And the Air Force adopted the AR-15 as their standard issue rifle, ordering 8,500 of them and 8.5 million rounds of ammunition in 1962. The Air Force adopting their own rifle turned a lot of heads within the government, one of those heads being the Department of Defense. See, by 1962, we weren't full bore into Vietnam yet, but we were allied with the Vietnamese Republic forces, and a lot of people kind of felt that a war was coming. So the DoD wanted to begin testing these weapons. One of the ways they did that is by sending 1,000 of them to our allies in Vietnam to see what they thought of them. Once again, all the reports came back glowing. Out of 1,000 rifles, some of which were fired 80,000 times, only 2 had to have any kind of repair. That's not even good. That's like remarkable. I mean, how many things could you just invent, and then if you torture test 1,000 of them, you only have 2 issues? By 1962, it was suggested that all of our Vietnamese allies be armed with an AR-15, but it was turned down because, again, they didn't want to be using different ammo in combat zones, yada, yada, yada. But the glowing reports caused the Ordnance Department to be ordered to once again test out the AR-15. Could you imagine how angry the Ordnance Department is at this gun by this point? Like, they have their whole little thing going on where, you know, they have like a gun issue, and then they play this whole charade with Springfield where they're like, which one am I going to pick? And they always pick Springfield's, right? And this is now the 3rd time they're forced to look at one of these. So in 1962, they hold another test for the weapon. And like, they're running out of things bad to say about it. One of the things they listed as an issue was it had, quote, poor pointing and firing at night, whatever that means, and also that it did poorly at material penetration at distance compared to the M14, which, duh. Everyone understands that the round is slightly smaller. It's not supposed to be a full-length rifle round. That's kind of the whole point. But regardless, Army Ordnance said that they are not adopting it until something better comes along. Or in other words, until Springfield finds a way to make one. However, regardless of what Army Ordnance says, everyone who picks up one of these loves it. Eventually, the Green Beret want to try it out. When the U.S. Special Forces request to have AR-15s, the Army Ordnance immediately shuts it down. This works its way so high up on the chain of command that it gets to President Kennedy's desk. Kennedy and his Secretary of Defense, Robert McNamara, for the boys, it's the nerdy guy from 5. The 2 of them sign off that the Green Beret should be allowed to run the AR-15, and guess what? Just like in every other case, they love it. But the gun's controllable on full auto, it's lightweight, you can maneuver it much easier. Basically, once again, the Chad AR-15 has blown the Virgin M14 out of the water. As a matter of fact, the Green Berets love it so much that McNamara thinks to himself, hey, if every person we give this gun to says it's the best thing since sliced bread, what is with the Army Ordnance saying it's bad every time they test it? So Secretary of the Army Cyrus Vance, at the behest of McNamara, decides to have an investigation into why this thing was rejected, where they find out that not only were the people within Army Ordnance biased, they were straight up rigging the game. The M14 selected for the operations were match grade. They were carefully inspected, everything checked out to make sure they were good to go, and the AR-15s being tested were grabbed from the bottom of a box. Same goes with the ammo. The M14's ammo was carefully inspected and used, whereas the AR-15's was just grabbed out of a box. During the investigation, it was found that there were meetings of the head of Army Ordnance and other companies as to how they could rig the game. And then in their logged minutes, I don't know how people don't check this, in their logged minutes of what was said during the meeting, someone can be quoted as saying, "Only include the evaluations of those tests that will reflect adversely on the AR-15 rifle." This finding made everyone furious. The Pentagon, Department of Defense, McNamara, all of them were like, okay, show's over, you had your fun, you're taking this rifle now, this is the new rifle, like it or not, grow up. It was also around this time that things in Vietnam were heating up, like mid-1963, and the Army Ordnance was made for procurement of rifles across the entire armed services. Now, out of everything I'm saying so far, that sounds like a bad idea, but I'm talking about one narrow view of weapons development and history at the time. There's a lot of other factors that made it a good decision, at least as McNamara viewed it, to do everything through a single source. So imagine that you are the U.S. Army Ordnance. You have had this cool thing going for a while where you kind of get to pick the rifle and people don't really tell you what to do, but now you have been told what to do and you're supposed to do this. So maybe most people would think, if you can't beat them, join them, get over it, accept it. But if you're the Army Ordnance Department, you think, if you can't beat them, make sure everyone loses. And here is where we get into the sabotage. And to explain it properly, I have to first explain how this thing works. So, bullets set at the top of the magazine inside of the chamber here. There is a bolt within the gun that picks up a round, pushes it into the chamber, and when the trigger is pulled, the round goes off, creating an explosion within this chamber. When an explosion goes off, the bullet has nowhere else to go than out the front of the barrel. The gases are traveling in the same direction before they're caught by the gas block up here. The gas is then diverted through the gas block, through the gas tube. You can see it through the handguard, it's a little silver bar in there. They come through the gas tube and then smack the top of this bolt carrier. The gases hit this little gas key on top of the carrier, grab the carrier, and cause the system to go backwards. This resets the hammer, picks up the next round, and that happens about 750 times a minute when you're holding down the trigger. It's a remarkably simple and efficient design without a lot of moving parts. It's what's known as a direct impingement system, which means the gas impinges directly on the bolt itself. Even though, if we're being technical, this isn't a direct impingement system because it doesn't hit the bolt, it hits the bolt carrier and the gas key, meaning this is more of an internal piston system, but direct impingement, sure. The primary reason it's such an efficient and reliable design is because the whole weapon system is sealed. Not only can you walk around with a dust cover to prevent debris from getting inside of the action, but with a mag in the gun, unless something physically falls down the front of the barrel, there's no way for something to get inside of this and mess up the action. Now, what this system also means is that it's very finely tuned. Think about it. You have a lot of pressure being created around here at the moment of an explosion, something like 50,000 psi. That pressure causes the casing of the ammo to swell up enough that it makes a seal for everything to go out, but then when the pressure goes down enough, it's just enough for the casing to decompress, to be pulled back out of the gun by the extractor and allow the system to reset. That means the timing of where the gas block is on the barrel to the timing of how your spring in the stock pushes the bolt back forward to the timing of what kind of pressure of ammo you're using to the timing of the tube itself and everything else. There's so many different factors that go into making this a well-machined piece.
I'm so excited.
All of that to say, if you randomly change something on it, something bad's probably going to happen. So the Army Ordnance is forced to adopt this gun they don't want to, and the first thing they do is start making changes to it. The first one they make is pretty minor. The AR-15, which, by the way, this specific one is an SP-1. It's a model Colt made after the war to look like their early Colt 601 prototypes, which is like the earliest AR-15, at least that Colt made. So this is a pretty accurate demonstration as I explain this, because this is pretty close to the model that the Ordnance Department had a ton of problems with. The first thing they did was change the twist rate of the barrel. So the way rifles work is as the bullet is traveling out of the gun, there's what's called rifling in the barrel that causes the bullet to twist, and because the bullet is now flying in a spiral, it's more accurate. The original AR-15 had a 1 in 14 inch twist, which is absurdly high compared to modern age, but this was the 60s. What 1 in 14 means is every 14 inches, the bullet has made one complete rotation. So the higher your number is, like 1 in 20, means that the bullet is spinning less, whereas a smaller number, like 1 in 5, means that the bullet is doing a full spin every 5 inches. There's a balance to be found with this because depending on how fast your bullet is going, there's only so much you can make it spin before it comes out. But according to Army Ordnance, when firing the gun in Arctic conditions, the bullet performed poorly, which I don't know how much I trust that based on everything else they've done with the testing, but they moved it from a 1 in 14 inch twist to a 1 in 12, which isn't that big of a deal. The second change they made to it was much more severe. So again, the way this gun works is you have the bolt inside and all the stuff happens with the gas to make the gun cycle, right? Well, to initially load the weapon, because there's not a bullet going off to make the bolt move around, you grab the charging handle back here and pull, and that's what causes your bolt to move. So if you're ever in a position where you need to grab a hold of the bolt itself doesn't have anything physical you can manipulate, but you can grab this charging handle and it does the same thing. Because there is a giant spring in the stock that is pushing the bolt back forward. So you always have that tension to work off of. Say for example, your bolt gets stuck back here, like maybe it's dry and it's having trouble going back forward. Well, you can just grab this, pull it back a bit more and let go, and it flies forward for you. The Ordnance Department said this was unacceptable because every other rifle they've used has a way to physically grab the bolt and ram it forward. Everyone said this was a bad idea. The Air Force said in all of their testing there was never an issue that would be solved by ramming the bolt forward. Eugene Stoner said it was a horrible idea, and the Ordnance Department, as you could imagine, ignored everyone and told them to put something on it that lets them push a button to make the bolt go forward. As you can see on the side of this rifle, this whole part over here is bare. It's just like, smooth. Whereas after the original Model 601, every AR-15 would have this, a completely useless hole in the side of it known as a forward assist. Forward assist is exactly what it looks like. It is this awkward button off the right side of the gun that is made just in case your bolt gets stuck somewhere. You can push the button and physically press the bolt forward in like little increments, which for one is only viable in a very, very rare scenario. And two, and more importantly, if for some reason you can't get your bolt to go forward, you probably shouldn't try to force it to go forward. These things tend to explode, that's kind of the whole point. Maybe ramming whatever is in the way into the chamber with the bullet is a bad idea. Some people have suggested the reason the Ordnance Department did this is so soldiers could have a psychological knowledge that if they need to touch the bolt, they can, which, what? The forward assist can never solve a problem that pulling it back and letting go couldn't also solve. I have fired over 100,000 rounds out of AR-15s in my life, and I have never touched this button once outside of a bit. However, it was the third change to the AR-15 that would prove disastrous not only to the reputation of the Ordnance Department and the rifle itself, but to many of the soldiers who carried it. See, when the AR-15 was being developed, like I said, it was very finely tuned to the amount of pressure, to the kind of ammo, etc. The kind of powder that the AR-15 was designed for was the IMR 4475. It was a pretty basic, modern-made powder that was designed by DuPont and then sent to Remington, who made the actual ammunition. Without consulting anyone, the Army Ordnance determined that the powder be changed from IMR 4475 to the O&M ball powder. Ball powder is called that because, quite literally, when magnified, the powder looks like these tiny spheres. Why did the Army Ordnance decide to change to O&M for seemingly no reason? That's right, money. O&M had been the primary contractor for the military's powder since World War II. And O&M had a ton of this ball powder that was used in things like artillery during World War II. So Army Ordnance just tells them to repurpose that for the new Armalite rifle, and what could go wrong? Well, a lot of things could go wrong. For one, the O&M powder had a much larger chamber PSI compared to the previously used IMR powder. As a matter of fact, according to Jim Sullivan, one of the guys who designed the AR-15, it was 10,000 more PSI than the rifle had been originally tested with.
At the same time, the ordnance system was changing the powder. Well, they should have recognized immediately that the thing was firing way too fast. They were getting all kinds of problems, torn rims on the cartridges.
I think we should point out for people who don't recognize what that change in powder did was change the pressure curve in the gun.
Right.
It increased the gas pressure at the gas port.
It increased to 10,000 psi. It was a tremendous increase. And the rate of fire went from 750 up to around 900. And the gun couldn't fire to that rate. It just didn't work.
This does a lot of things. For one, the explosion is much bigger than what the rifle is tuned for. This causes extra wear and damage to all of the parts the explosion encounters. On top of that, because again the explosion is greater, you're throwing the bolt back into the gun at greater speeds. This means internally everything is flying around faster and leading to more malfunctions. A common malfunction seen out of the weapon during this time is that the rim of the brass casing, the part that the extractor grabs onto to pull the old casing out of the gun, would get completely ripped off. Meaning the only way to now unjam the gun is to shove something down the barrel to knock the old casing out. Remember how I said the AR-15 would fire full auto at about 750 rounds per minute? Well, with this new powder, it was getting more like 900 rounds per minute, with some reports saying that it reached 1,000. That's not good if your rifle is firing 25% faster than it was designed for. Something's probably going wrong. Another issue with this new powder is that it burns slower. While relative to our perception, most modern smokeless powder probably seems instantaneous, right? You pull the trigger and the whole bang goes off at once. Well, keep in mind, within a fully automatic rifle, everything is happening within micro instants of each other. So even if the powder is continuing to ignite and burn a few thousandths of a second longer than it typically does, well, that means a lot of the parts internally on the gun could be moved around, and that could cause unforeseen side effects. One of those being the powder would continue to burn after the bolt had moved back from the chamber. Basically, your gun is beginning to cycle as the powder's still burning, meaning your gas...
Interesting. Interesting.
I've killed.
Blood loss.
So much for the government. Their idea of containment is to kill everyone with the project. Judging by your hazard suit, I'd say you were part of what went wrong. Isn't that right? Now look, if anyone can end this catastrophe, it's the science team in the Lambda complex at the opposite end of the base. With the transit system out, I couldn't tell you how to get there. But there's an old decommissioned rail system somewhere through here beyond the silo complex. If you can make it through the rocket test labs, you might be able to worm your way through the old tunnels to track down whatever is left of the Lambda team.
Alright.
You can trust them. You can trust all of us.
Major fracture detected. Automatic medical systems engaged. Morphine administered. signals detected.
God damn it.
It must fire the rocket engine. Destroy the damn thing before it gets any larger.
This thing hears us. Some scientists snuck down to the generator to get the rocket. We were gonna try to make a break for the fuel landings. With us?
God damn it.
Lacerations detected. Seek medical attention. Vital signs of ignition depleted.
Power system. Please report status.
Fucking hell. Ah.
Power 15%. Power 30%. Chemical detected. Vital signs are dropping.
God! I hope no one expects me to go start up the generator. Smithers never came back.
Alright.
Power 15%.
This is my hiding spot. I'm not moving until the situation is drastically improved. Now go away and don't tell anyone I'm here.
Our system
guess it's true. If it bleeds, you can kill it.
Oh, I don't know what I want to watch. Ugh. Fuck. Oh, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Helldivers? Black Mesa. More Class of '09. Don't really want to play Days Gone because I'm stuck on a part I don't really want to do. Um. Is it Thursday? It is. That's tempting. What? Mm-hmm.